Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the StockCharts TV channel. My name is Grayson Roze, Chief Strategist here at StockCharts.com. As always, delighted to be with you, especially today coming to you from a very sunny Seattle. Anyone from Seattle gets this big old smile on their face anytime we get a little bit of sunshine and a break from the rain. So I am smiling today. But smiling as well because we got a market that is doing the right things, making its way higher, recovering after the sell-off that we saw earlier this year. It's been a wild ride for the markets, but it is certainly keeping us all on our toes here as traders, as investors, as market participants. Now, especially in an environment like we have right now, like the one that we've had this year, I get a lot of people that are asking me about how to maximize the value on stock charts. People see the craziness happening out there in the markets. They see people trading their way through an environment like this. And they say, hey, I know there's some great tools on stock charts. I know there's probably more that I should be doing with the platform. What are the tools that I need to be using? What are the ways that I can take more advantage of all those features and resources that are out there on the stock charts platform that I hear about people using successfully? Well, whenever I get that question, whenever someone says, hey, what should I be using to really maximize stock charts? Without missing a beat, the first thing that pops into my head, scanning. The scan engine on stock charts allows you to take any criteria that fits your system, whatever it is, technical and even some fundamental metrics as well, and plug that into a custom screen, a custom filter that's going to go out there and scan the markets for all of the stocks, the ETFs, the symbols that fit your criteria. It is incredibly powerful. It is probably the most important resource on StockCharts.com. And I even have to say, it's probably more invaluable than the charts themselves in a lot of ways. It's definitely right up there. Scanning is an incredibly powerful tool, an incredibly powerful resource, and a part of stock charts that you definitely need to be taking advantage of as a member. But the challenge is, it's a little bit tricky to get up and running with scanning. There is definitely a learning curve to writing your own custom scans and getting that whole process going. Now, once you do learn some of those tricks and the different ways to customize your scans, set things up, it starts to become kind of second nature. But when you're first introduced to scanning, to a lot of people, it can seem a little daunting. So I often hear people ask, what's the tool that I need to be using more of to maximize the value of stock charts? And as soon as I say scanning, they go, oh, scanning, that's a little scary though. Today, what I want to do is break down scanning with some tools that you can start using to scan your way through the markets without writing any of that scary custom syntax, without learning how to write your own scans, any of that stuff. 2 resources on the StockCharts platform make it incredibly easy to start running scans and doing so very efficiently, kind of automating your scanning process in the background. So we're going to walk through those today. Make sure you know how easy it is to get started with scanning. If you have ever wanted to scan for different stocks, making different key criteria out there, doing important things out there in the markets, this episode is for you. So without further ado, let's jump over to the StockCharts platform and get it going. All right, guys, we're here on our charts and tools page, but from anywhere around the entire StockCharts platform, top left corner of the site, you can hit that charts and tools link. And the tools that we're going to be looking at today are right here under the scanning group. We're going to look at our sample scan library first, and then we're going to talk about how to save those sample scans to your account and actually schedule them to run. So they're going to run for you automatically in the background. So anywhere you are across the StockCharts platform, open up that menu. You can get here with these links right here. But you can also get to the page we're starting on by clicking this button down at the bottom. Explore all those charts and tools. Now, I'm going to scroll down this page to our scanning group. We've got 3 cards on this page. I'm going to pause here for a minute because this kind of represents the scanning world that a lot of people aren't necessarily familiar with. When people see scanning, they hear scanning. If you've been around stock charts for a little while, you inevitably think about the advanced scan workbench. You think about those kind of custom scans that you might have seen that do admittedly look a little bit daunting when you are new to scanning. But we've got other tools that you can use that, again, break down the barriers to scanning, make it incredibly easy to start filtering the markets for criteria that matters to you. The first one that we're going to look at is our sample scan library. We have had a scan engine on stock charts for many, many, many years. And so, of course, we've had a ton of different sample scans come through the platform. We've tracked, what are the most popular scans that people are running. We've seen this for years. And so we've taken all of that history, all of that experience, and we've actually built up a sample scan library that really is more of an interactive tool. You can actually start running the scans on this page that have already been built for you. You can run those in one click. You can also save them to your account and actually start to customize them yourself if you do want to go that route. But even if you're just going to be running those scans kind of out of the box as they are, this is an incredibly easy way to start scanning. Now, the reality is, of course, the scan engine provides tons of capability to customize your scans and really get into the nitty-gritty details, adding your own custom criteria, the things that you want to search the market for. But for a lot of us, we're scanning for pretty straightforward types of things that other people are probably also scanning for, whether they're candlestick patterns or new highs or new lows or P&F double top breakouts or triple top breakouts. Those kinds of classic scan, classic criteria things that you're going to be filtering the markets for, they're probably already here on that sample scan library. So as you're going to see, it's an incredibly easy way to start scanning. Now, after that, we're going to take a look briefly at the scheduled scans tool. So you can actually save these sample scans to your account. Once you find the ones that you like, that you're going to be running consistently, and then you can actually schedule those to run automatically for you in the background by just selecting a couple of things from a couple of different menus. Really, really easy. And this is a tool I use every day. To be honest with you, I've kind of stopped scanning manually. I've got the scans that I like to run, and I've actually scheduled those in my account, my StockCharts account. And so I've got all of these scans that are running for me automatically after the close every single day, and filling in my account with the lists of stocks that meet that criteria. It kind of partially automates my stock discovery process, my search process out there, keeps me focused on just reviewing the charts, which is very, very powerful. So we'll talk about that as well. But I'm pausing here because I want you to kind of see this. We've got, of course, the advanced scan workbench, but we have these other scanning tools as well, which is what we're going to be getting familiar with today. So let's jump over to that sample scan library. I am going to walk you through this page. So very, very simple. You got two options for each of these different sample scans that are on this page. You can either run it and see the results that come back for that scan right away, hit that big green button for any of the scans on this page, and you'll automatically run that scan and see those results. Or if you want to edit that scan, you'll actually see the syntax. You can start to customize that, make it your own, or just edit it, see the syntax there, and save that scan to your own account. That really is as easy as it can be on this page. So for this sample scan library, we've organized things into different groups. We've got predefined groups up here at the top, which are just scans for different sort of classic groups of symbols. If you want to see, for instance, what are all the stocks in the S&P 500, well, you can see that really quickly by running this scan. Let's take a look at how easy it is to do that. You hit that big green button. There you go. You got 500 stocks that come back. This is the S&P 500, all of the stocks that are in the S&P 500. You can see charts of all of these. If you want to scroll through these and see some charts, you can see candle glance charts if you want to see the entire group in kind of this mini chart format. Or you can even save this to your own account. Hit that big green button in the top right corner, and you can actually save all 500 of those stocks in the S&P 500 to a new list in your account. You could merge them with an existing list, or even overwrite an existing list from your account. So it's incredibly easy to run one of these scans from that sample scan library. That really is how fast it is. If you want to see the NASDAQ 100 stocks, just hit run. If you want to see the S&P sector ETFs, kind of the classic group of 11 sector ETFs, hit run. You're going to get all of those sector ETFs in just one click. So very easy to run these. Again, we've organized these sample scans, though, into a couple of different groups. We're starting up here with these predefined groups, which are just collections of symbols in different ways that we typically see them. So whether they're indexes or common groups like cryptocurrencies, global market ETFs, major US market ETFs, things like that. Next up, we've got a larger group of technical indicators. Now, I spend a lot of time in here because I like to scan for new highs. I like to keep it simple with my scanning. If a stock is making a new high in a time frame that matters to me, that is a sign of strength, and I want to make sure that I'm staying focused on those names that are showing that strength. So I spend a lot of time scanning for new highs across these common time frames: all-time highs, 52-week highs, 9-month, 6-month, 3-month, and 1-month highs. Now, again, you can hit run, and that'll just run those scans, show you all of the stocks and funds that are making those new highs. Or if you wanted to sort of filter this down, maybe you want new 9-month highs for a specific group of symbols. Well, you can hit that edit button, then hit this reformat button down here. That's going to kind of clean things up a little bit. Now this is going to actually show you the scan syntax. From here, you could start to customize this. You could add in different chart lists that you want to scan for. You could add in different groups that you want to scan for. Maybe you only want the S&P 500, different things like that. So you can see that scan syntax right in here, and you can start to use this scan components area down at the bottom to actually add in other criteria. So for instance, let's say you only wanted stocks in, we mentioned the S&P 500. So let's say you only wanted stocks in the S&P 500. Well, you could select that from the group, then hit add, and you'll see that's actually just going to add that syntax, that little bit of code up here in the scan criteria area. So now you're going to be running that scan for 9-month highs, but the group is also going to be the S&P 500. So this is only going to show you stocks in the S&P 500 making those new 9-month highs. So again, this is how you can start to use that sample scan library to customize these scans for yourself. Add in any criteria that you want when you do get up and running with kind of the scan syntax and writing your own scans, customizing things, all of that. Now, you could run this and see the results you get back, or you could save this to your account. So again, you hit that edit button from the sample scan library, come over here, make any changes that you want, and then hit save as, and this will allow you to actually type in a name and save that custom scan that you've started to build. So again, the sample scan library, great on its own if you want to just run scans right from there. Or if you want to pull things over into the scan workbench and save them, add your own criteria and use that sample scan library kind of as a starting place to write your own scans, that is another totally valid option. So we're going to go back here, jumping around a little bit, but we've got our technical indicators. We've got those sorted into a couple of different groups. Generally, we've got bullish patterns on the left and bearish patterns on the right. So you see the new highs, new relative highs, and bullish scans over there on the left. And then we've got sort of the counterparts, but on the bearish side. So new lows, new relative lows, and bearish scans on the right there. Now, again, the idea here is to give you a big buffet, basically, of popular scans that most of our users typically like to run. Many users typically like to run. So things like new highs are pretty clear. You know, stocks making new highs. Things that are outperforming the market, kind of also pretty clear. But then we get a little bit more detailed. So things like strong volume gainers or bullish MACD crossovers. These are some of the more advanced scans that our users consistently write. And so rather than having to figure out how to write all of those scans yourself, you can simply come here to the sample scan library and start running any of these yourself. Again, if you want to run these as is, hit that run button, but you can start to customize these, kind of see how these scans were written and start to build your own scans from here. This is a great way to learn how scan syntax works. It's also a great way to start saving things to your own account without having to write everything yourself. Now, one other thing that I like to remind people is that you can also kind of grab bits and pieces from these different sample scans. So if you wanted to combine new highs with P&F triple top breakouts or something like that, you could hit edit for those different sample scans and then actually copy and paste the syntax from one into another one. So again, use this edit feature to kind of build your way up. Start to get familiar with some of that scan syntax, but you could also actually take some of the syntax from one sample scan, combine it with another sample scan to start to build your own custom ones. I like to do that with P&F patterns, combining double top breakouts with maybe strong volume gainers or things like that. It's a really great way to kind of build more advanced scans, again, without having to write all of that custom code yourself. So we've got a ton in here, as you can see. You've got so many different options, and it really is a great way to start learning the power of the StockCharts scan engine. again, come over here, hit run. You don't have to worry about writing any of that syntax yourself. You can just start scanning right from here. The other great thing is that we're constantly evolving this. We're constantly adding new sample scans to the library. So this is kind of always changing, always growing and developing. You might come here one day and see a certain collection. You might come back the next week and see another set of scans have been added, especially down here in the experts area. This is where we kind of add new scans from leading experts and things like that. This is actually getting some updates very, very soon. So keep an eye out for that. We've got some of the scans that I like to run actually from my own account. Things like stocks within 10% of a new 52-week high from the S&P 1500. So it takes the S&P 500, 400, and 600, batches that up into one big group, and then shows you all the stocks that are trading within 10% of a new 52-week high in that group. Again, if you want to start using that as is, you can run it. But if you want to see how I wrote that scan, you can use that edit feature and actually start to kind of review that syntax, see how things work, see how these different scans are built. Maybe this is one that you want to save to your own account and then start scheduling, which is going to be our next stop on today's tour. So we took a look at how to save those scans to your own account. Of course, you can just come over to that sample scan library and run things whenever you want to. But if you do start to build your way up, if you start to create some of these more advanced scans, maybe picking and choosing some of the criteria from a couple of those different samples, or maybe you like this within 10% highs to 10% of new 52-week highs scan that we've got down there at the bottom. Maybe this is one that you find yourself running on a consistent basis. Well, that is where our scheduled scans tool comes into play. So once you've sort of graduated out of that sample scan library and you've started saving some scans into your account, and you've got kind of your go-to scans that you find yourself running consistently, you can schedule those to run automatically in the background for you at a specific time of the week or at a specific time of the day. So first and foremost, you're going to want to save different things to your account. We took a look at how to do that. Let's say, for the sake of argument, you like this scan that we have, new 52-week highs, stocks in the S&P 1500 within 10% of a new 52-week high. Well, let's save that to our account. We'll say test scan for now. Imagine that we came up with a little more creative name when we're doing this for ourselves. But for now, we're going to save that as test scan, and you'll see that we now have that in our own account. So under sample or save scans, we've got that one saved here. Next, what we're going to do is jump over to the scheduled scans page. Now, right up here at the top, you've got access to all of these different scanning tools from all of the different sort of scanning resources. So, of course, we were just on the scan workbench. We've got the sample scan library in that row as well. So if you want to quickly jump over to that, you can always get there. But kind of right in the middle, we've got a tab for scheduled scans. What this is going to allow you to do, fill out a simple form and schedule a scan for your own account. Now, I am a pro member, so I get up to 25 scheduled scans that can run every single day. You can see I've actually maxed that out and I get a little list of them here. So these are all of the scans that I have scheduled in my own account that run every single day. Like I said, I am a fan of scanning for new highs and then reviewing the charts that come back. That's kind of my process. I like to use the charts, but scan for those new highs. Make sure that I'm only looking at things that are showing that sign of strength by making a new high. I've done that for tons of different groups, ETFs, the S&P 1500, stocks in the Dow, stocks in the NASDAQ, different things like that. But for each of these, all I've had to do is fill out this form. The form is relatively straightforward, but we can walk through it right now. We've saved our test scan from the scan workbench, as we just saw. So all we have to do to start is select that from the menu. So I'm going to go ahead and select test scan from that menu. That's going to be the scan that we are scheduling. From there, all we have to do is select our timing. And we've got a couple of different options. If you open up this menu, you can see that you can use the market open or the market close for a couple of the different major markets that we cover. In most cases, our users are using either the U.S. open or the U.S. close, or maybe the Canadian open or close. I, for instance, like to use the close. I like to focus mostly on closing values. So I typically schedule my scans to run right after the market closes. But if you want to use the open, that's the default option in here. You can also select a custom time, especially if you're trading cryptocurrencies. The custom time can be very, very helpful. We'll take a look at that in just a sec. But you can select your timing at the open or at the close, and then select your run days as well. Now, if you got a daily scan, you probably want this to run during the weekdays. Most of our users want their scans to run every day of the week, so we've selected all of the weekdays there to start. Again, if you're trading things like cryptocurrencies, though, you might want 7 days a week. So you can actually select the weekend days as well there. Or maybe if you're trading just a weekly scan, maybe you only want it to run on Fridays after the market closes. You've got a couple of different options in here. You can really configure things in the way that works for you. Maybe you want Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Who knows? Any criteria, you can set that up. If you do select custom time, you'll also get an option to select the specific time, in UTC time, when you want that to run. So if you want it to run midday, if you want it to run 1 hour into the session, different things like that, you can actually select a totally custom time to run your scans. Again, you can combine that with your different days of the week to really get picky about when your scans run automatically for you. Now, finally, you're going to select an action. So when that scan runs, what do we do with those results? You've got a couple different options here. You can save it at a new chart list every single time. Those chart lists will stay live for I believe it's about 2 months. They will eventually evaporate, so you don't fill up your account, kind of max things out. But you can save your scans into a brand new chart list every single time. In my case, I like to merge things into an existing chart list. So again, I've got scans set up that are running after the close every single day. So I have the same chart lists that have been built into my account. I've created these chart lists, and they're really just there in my account to take these scheduled scan results. So I take the same scans, I'm running those automatically every day because they're scheduled, and the results of those scheduled scans get dropped into the same, get merged into the same chart list. Now, for instance, if I'm running a scan for new 52-week highs, and that runs after the close every single day of the week, Monday through Friday, and the results get merged into the same list, that means by the time I get to Friday after the close, I'm looking at a list that shows me all of the stocks that have made a 52-week high at some point during that week. The way that merging works is that if something is already in the list, we'll ignore it. But if something is not already in the list, we'll add it. So it won't add any duplicates, basically. So that's how I like to use the merge function. I use the exact same chart list and then sort of fill that thing up during the week. Typically, I'm reviewing those results every day after the close. But if I do get to the end of the week and I haven't had a chance to review any of those scan results, they're kind of all piled up sitting there waiting for me. So I find that that's a very, very useful way to use this feature. You can also replace an existing chart list every day. So if you want things to just kind of start from scratch every day, you can replace all of the items in that list every day when that scheduled scan runs. So select how you want that thing to be saved, how you want those results to be saved. You've got a couple of different options there. And then actually the very, very last thing you can do is choose whether or not you want an email sent to you with those scan results. So if you're running things every single day and you've got a lot of these scheduled scans, as I do, 25 scheduled scans running every single day, you might not want to get 25 emails every single day with those results. You might be sort of on top of it and you're reviewing those results. But if you only got 1 or 2 or 3 of these scheduled scans, you might want to get an email every single day after that thing runs. We'll send you a list of all of the names that came back as part of that scheduled scan. If you don't want that, simply uncheck that box and you won't get that email. And these things can always be changed down the road. So if you do want to edit any of your scheduled scans, you can simply come here to the scheduled scans page. You can see all of the different scheduled scans that you have, the run days, when it was last run, was it successful, different things like that. You can pause any of these, delete any of these things. Or if you do want to make changes to it, you can hit that little pencil icon on the right side and you can actually make changes. If you want to update the timing of it, if you want to update the save action, maybe you want to turn on or off the emailing option, you've got a couple of different choices there. So really, really easy to work with those scheduled scans right from this page. This truly is one of the most powerful things that I've set up, though, in my StockCharts account. We'll talk a little bit about this next week. We'll touch on this, talking about watch lists and things like that. But scheduled scans, the ability to take those scans that you're running manually every single day and automate that process. Make sure that they're running for you in the background. And then all you have to do is review the charts. You don't have to worry about going and clicking buttons and finding the same scans every single day. If you're like me and you've got a bunch of different scans that you want run every day or every week, whatever the cadence is, save yourself some time. Automate that process by scheduling those scans to run for you. Makes it very easy. So hopefully you've seen the power here. The sample scan library makes it easy to get started with scanning, and the scheduled scans tool makes it easy to keep that scanning process going for you automatically in the background. This is a real time saver. Both of these tools, you don't have to spend time learning how to write some of those simple scans that we've already built for you. And once you've got your favorites, you don't have to waste time clicking those buttons every single day and letting those things run. Save yourself some time. Learn the ropes of scanning with that sample scan library and keep things going for yourself automatically in the background with scheduled scans. So that's going to be our show for today. Thank you so much for joining me here on StockCharts TV. It's always a pleasure to show you around the StockCharts platform, talk about how to get more value out of these tools and features that we have. There's so much here to unpack. So we do that every single week here on the channel. It's always fun to sit down with you, talk about markets, talk about what's going on, but also talk about how to actually put some of these tools and features that you are paying for as a StockCharts member, put those to work and get more value out of your membership. Now, if you're not a StockCharts member, of course, remember to sign up. So many great tools and features that you can take advantage of, like scanning. This is one that you have to be a member to access, but you can build your own custom scans. Take all that criteria that matters to you, no matter how crazy it is. Build a scan that works for your process. Don't waste time flipping through tons and tons and tons of charts. You can scan the market for that criteria and it'll come back in just a couple of seconds. It is a huge time saver. Really one of the things that we hear most consistently, why are you a StockCharts member? The things people say, it's obviously, I love the charts and that's all great and saving lists and things like that, but the scan engine is really the big power feature. We hear that from our users a lot. So if you're not already a StockCharts member, make sure you visit us, take a free 1-month trial, make sure you're signing up and taking advantage of all these things that StockCharts has to offer. Speaking of signing up, if you're not a subscriber of our StockCharts TV YouTube channel, give us a follow down below, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like as well. That helps us out. And leave us a comment down below. What are the things that you're scanning for? What's on your scanning list? What's the criteria that you typically like to use on that StockCharts scan engine? What are you wishing we had on that sample scan library as well? Anything that you have, any ideas that you have, throw it out there. We'd love to hear from you. If you got sample scans that you'd love for us to add, let us know. Tell us down below, leave us a comment, or write our support team, stockcharts.com/support. Shoot them a note. They are all ears. Would love to hear from you. So I want to thank you again for joining me. Again, my name is Grayson Roze, Chief Strategist here at stockcharts.com. It's been a blast to be with you. I'll see you again very soon for another one. But until then, keep calm and chart on, my friends.